A game as unbelievably influential as GTA 3 should have had a remaster for the ages, and it's more than a little disappointing that Rockstar didn't understand that, for whatever reason. In more than a few ways, the GTA 3 remaster, like the other two remasters it comes packaged with, feels like a step back from the original classic. We ran several tests across a number of scenarios in the game to see how much truth there is to that, and here's what we found. Rain effects. At this point, the botched rain effects have become the poster child of the messed up state that the GTA trilogy has launched in, so it makes sense to start with this. The blinding rain effects, which feel more like a rain filter plastered on the screen, are a problem in all three games, but in GTA 3 in particular, it's basically impossible to drive around when it's raining out, especially at nighttime. Fog and draw distances. No longer constrained by limited hardware the way the original games were on the PS2, the GTA 3 remaster doesn't have to resort to blanketing its world in fog to make up for its limited draw distances, which are significantly better here. That said, these are small maps by current standards, especially the one found in GTA 3, so having enough draw distances to be able to see the entire map on your screen is a little strange. It makes the world feel smaller than it should. Litter. The original GTA 3 did a number of things, big and small, to really sell its version of a fictional representation of NYC. For instance, scattered on the ground and roads everywhere in the city, you could see a bunch of litter and old newspapers. That isn't the case in the remaster. Sadly, everything just looks cleaner, which takes away from the game's atmosphere in a surprisingly noticeable way. Vehicle explosions. At least where the visuals are concerned, the GTA 3 remaster, along with the other two, showcases meaningful improvements over the original. That's true of vehicle explosions as well. The explosions themselves look much better defined and, well, explosiony, while being able to see chunks of a mangled vehicle fly off in much greater detail is also a nice touch. Fire effects. Even beyond the vehicle explosion, fire effects in general look pretty good in the GTA 3 remaster. As opposed to the wispy and sort of gaseous-looking flames of the original, fire has a much better visual presence in the remaster. In fact, you can also see flames leaving behind scorch marks on the ground, which wasn't the case in the original game. Car windows. This is one area where GTA 3 is unchanged from the original, which is disappointing in its own way. Shooting at car windows basically does nothing, or not what you would expect it, at least. The game just registers it as a hit like it would on any other part of the vehicle's body, and you can't break individual panes of glass on cars. Shooting out tires. Similar to windows, vehicles' tires in GTA 3's remaster are also read by the game as any other part of the car's body, just as they were in the original. You can't shoot out tires and make them pop, which is a bit of a bummer because that is, of course, something that became a staple in the GTA games later on, and it's disappointing that the remaster didn't add that in. Shooting at glass. This too is another area where the GTA 3 remaster is essentially unchanged from the original, though we're actually happy about that in this case. Shooting a gun at a breakable window, not on a vehicle though, as mentioned earlier, will see the glass shattering as sending shards flying out. The animation still looks good, which is a relief particularly because, weirdly enough, the animations for shattered glass in the Vice City and San Andreas remasters are significantly worse than their original counterparts. Shooting at water. This was one of the more basic improvements you would have expected to see in a GTA 3 remaster, and thankfully, in this area, it doesn't disappoint. Firing a gun at a body of water in the original game was basically indistinguishable from shooting at thin air, but in the remaster, you get proper splashes and ripple effects when bullets hit the water. Underwater explosions. Sadly, water doesn't react properly to all weapons. In fact, it doesn't react at all if you throw a grenade in. Just as in the original, a grenade will explode underwater in the GTA 3 remaster just as it would anywhere else. You can even see fire and smoke coming out of the water, which is quite strange to look at. Plane hitboxes. Flying vehicles were almost entirely missing in the original GTA 3, with the exception of the Dodo, which meant that Rockstar, for understandable reasons, didn't feel the need to work on their hitboxes or what have you. That hasn't changed in the remaster either. You can go stand in front of a plane on a runway that's about to take off, and it'll pass right through you like it were made of gas. Shooting at trees. The GTA 3 remaster does exhibit surprising attention to detail in some areas, for all of its faults. For instance, shooting bullets at trees in the original yielded essentially no results, which wasn't surprising for a game that launched back in 2001. In the remaster, however, you can see your bullets leaving behind bullet holes in the trees. Bloody footprints. GTA 3 exhibited shocking attention to detail for its time when the game first came out. One example of that was being able to walk through a puddle of blood and actually leaving behind bloody footprints on the ground. The remaster thankfully doesn't mess with that. In fact, the footprints actually stick around far longer and are much more detailed. And with that, we reached the end of the video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we upload new videos every single day on Gaming Bolt, so please consider subscribing as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.